What's going on, guys? It's Lark here again. Today I want to talk to you about 5 different coins that, well, I don't want to call them sleeping giants because some of them are stirring, even a little bit awake, but 5 coins that are really gonna, explode over the next year. 5 coins to explode over the next year. So, before we get into that, quick shout out, as always, to everyone who is hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel, guys. I really appreciate all that support. So, we're going to be talking in order about NEM, Stratis, Lisk, Litecoin, and Dash. Now, I know what you're thinking. Some of these are, popping a little bit already. But these are all super undervalued projects. And we're going to talk about why. NEM. I love NEM. NEM is a great blockchain. It's one of the most secure blockchains. And I think it's super undervalued. At 24 cents per NEM. It's really undervalued, guys. Especially right now. It's dropped back down below 6,000 Satoshi. So I'm definitely going to be picking up a little bit of NEM today. Basically, every time, I go and do a purchase over on Bittrex, I always add a few NEM in. You pick up 50 NEM here and 50 NEM there, and, it starts adding up over time. It is definitely a really solid project. It is the blockchain of Japan, or at least that's what they're trying to be. It's a slow burner, this one, but I really think that in a year's time, we're going to see NEM at, $1.25 or $1.50 per NEM. So all the coins I'm talking about today are things that I see in a year, going 5 times or more in value. So these are my predictions on them. So looking at NEM definitely is going to hit that. There's only 9 billion NEM, which I know sounds like a lot, but in the crypto sphere, it's not actually that much. And so we've got a $2.1 billion market cap at the moment. Really going to see that go up, guys. This will be, a $10 to $15 billion market cap by this time next year. There will be at least a sort of a 5 to 6 times growth in NEM. So that's why I am, grabbing all the NEM that I can while I can. While the prices are so low. This one's definitely, it's just slowly ticking along, old NEM. Gotta love it. Next one, Stratis. Now, Stratis does get a lot of attention, but it is, again, super undervalued. To see a $2.5 billion market cap for Stratis wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. In fact, I'm sure it'll be worth much more in the long run. If you look, for example, NEO, for example, is trading around 35 apiece. I know Stratus isn't very far behind NEO, right? But to see Stratus in the sort of $25 to $30 range within a year would not surprise me at all. So yeah, okay, everyone missed buying Stratus back here for $1 or $2, and we might still see some good price retractions on Stratus. So do keep an eye out for the dips. Buying in at $5 though is a pretty damn good price, and I'll definitely be picking up some, for the $5 mark approximately, when I can, because it's, again, I think in a year's time, and these are all my sort of 1-year price predictions. In a year's time, Stratis, $25, $30. So, really good one to keep an eye on. They're doing great projects, and so do keep an eye out on Stratis. Lisk. Probably the most undervalued one on my list today. Lisk is only around 282 currently. It has been as low as 2 in the past few days. Man, I missed out on buying more then. Again, I always want to buy more, don't you? But I did get some over here when it was pretty gosh darn cheap, and I'm pretty happy about that. But I definitely want to just keep stocking up on Lisk because at 111 million circulating supply, not massive. And definitely a coin with some really great potential. And the market cap's only 313 million right now, guys. That is really not very much at all. Again, this is going to be a company that's worth $2, $3, $4 billion for the market cap easily. In the next year, I'm going to go with probably about 2 billion or 3 billion market cap by this time next year. It'll be interesting actually in a year to come back and check out this video and see how the predictions went. But let's just stop and imagine that for a second. So let's say we go up to a $3 billion market cap, and I think it's going to go somewhere between 3 and 4 range. But let's say we go up to a $3 billion market cap. That means it's going to be a 9 times growth. So the $3 is going to be, much closer to a $30 Lisk in a year's time. I really could absolutely see that happening. Doesn't seem very far-fetched at all in my mind, so that's sort of, my price prediction on that. Maybe $27 to a $30 Lisk in a year. Pretty undervalued project. It's going to probably pop really soon also, so do keep an eye on that because the rebranding's coming. They are going to be doing, those sort of announcements soon. So, really 280 or lower is a good buy-in point for Lisk. So do keep an eye out if you are interested in that. To buy in the dips, guys. Buy in the dips as always. So, Litecoin. Old Litecoin. Love it or hate it. Love it or hate it. A lot of people love it, and a lot of people have been very disappointed by Litecoin recently because it hasn't seen that, wow, explosion that so many other coins have been seeing, it's in the negative today. In fact, the one thing about Litecoin recently is actually it's been fairly steady. It's stayed basically between 40 and 50 bucks, 40 and 50 bucks, 40 and 50 bucks. Obviously discounting back when it was a couple dollars in May. But this is kind of 40 and 50 bucks, 40 and 50 bucks, back and forth and back and forth. And to a lot of crypto investors, that's not very exciting, right? If this was the regular stock market, people would be going, "Oh my God, it's going up and down by a couple percent. This is perfect. We're gonna make all kinds of money." Litecoin is fairly stable, which is its blessing and its curse. However, I don't think that stability is going to last forever. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, it's time for Litecoin, it's time for Litecoin, it's time for Litecoin." Well, that time is coming, guys. That time is coming. Litecoin is not going to stay down forever. Now, Bitcoin Cash has obviously provided a massive amount of competition for Litecoin. But nevertheless, Litecoin long-term prospects definitely going to see a market cap probably somewhere around $10 billion within a year's time would be my sort of calculations. From that point, we're looking at about a $200 Litecoin, So it does have a good team pushing it. They're constantly pushing it. So Litecoin is definitely going to go up at some point. The only question is when and how long is it going to take. That's the one with Litecoin. But Litecoin definitely does have that great future ahead of it. It's it's a solid coin, definitely nice. But the big boy on the list today is Dash. Now, Dash has seen some really big growth this week. And so you might say, "Well, Lark, haven't we already seen all the growth in Dash?" And what are you talking about? This one's not going to really pop off. I'm telling you, $1,000 Dash is not that far away. Look, I know the circulating supply is quite low, especially considering that, so many miners are going to be hitting the market soon. We're going to see the difficulty on Dash absolutely explode in the next 3 months. I wish that I had been able to get an ASIC miner for Dash. It's funny because I just bought my my Litecoin miner, and then a few days later the Dash miner comes out, and I'm just like, no. But hey, that happens. Of course, anyone who bought Dash mining contracts over on Genesis Mining, those have been basically voided out by the massive difficulty jumps. Right, we will not see our money back on those. Unless, the price of Dash goes like $1 million a Dash. Well, then you get your money back. But I do definitely see Dash hitting $1,000 within the next year. $1,000 Dash within the next year. You heard it here first, guys. And that doesn't actually require all that much. And Dash is doing a lot. Dash is cheap. It's easy. It can be private if you want it to be private. So it's got a lot of the great features, and it's got a great team pushing behind it, which I know everyone has a great team these days, don't they? Yeah, well, the thing is, Bitcoin kind of doesn't have a great team. There's no one really driving the ship with Bitcoin. What do you have? You have a bunch of giant corporate at this point miners who are greedy and ununited and are constantly squabbling amongst each other. Whereas Dash at least, they've got a solid team driving the development and driving the marketing and all this stuff. So definitely gonna see $1,000 Dash. My only regret with Dash is that I don't have more of it. In fact, I have very little of it, but definitely think it's an awesome coin, and it's one that I'm trying to get invested in more and more and more. And I'm certainly gonna keep a lookout for one of those ASIC miners when I can grab one, but they sell out really quickly, or they're massively overpriced. Baikal Miner, they've got one $3,000 for 2 gigahash, which you do get your money back on that, but it's just way too expensive, especially considering that Bitmain has a 15 gigahash one for like $1,700, but you have to wait for that one. You can get a Baikal Miner one and delivered to your house in a couple of days, whereas the one from Bitmain you have to wait until the end of the year for. Silicon as well on pre-order, and IB Link just came out with one, but I think they're already sold out as well. So if you do want to get involved in Dash mining, the potential is definitely there to do it. Just be careful though before you invest in these machines, because if you're buying with Bitmain, for example, and you're gonna see your miner not arrive until the end of the year, if you're gonna buy at the next release, wow, that becomes really tough. That becomes really tough, guys, because by then the difficulty will have jumped a lot, and it'll still probably be a really profitable machine. But definitely, these only the people who have the Dash miners right now are making retarded profits. In 3 months, it's going to be a very different story. Now, I am definitely looking forward to some more cloud mining contracts coming out for Dash. I'm sure that Genesis Mining, for example, has bought up a pretty decent amount of Dash miners from Bitmain, for example, so we will see those come out, and they will have more competitive prices. And when they do, I'm definitely going to buy some, because I want to be able to, get some Dash into my hands. But, I just haven't been able to grab an actual miner yet. But hey, keep an eye out for them. So, just quick news here as well. So, Dash is funding some University of Arizona research, doing research into, where was it here? Sorry guys. Okay, there we go. Scalability, mining centralization, blockchain security, and energy efficient mining. So again, they're investing money into the system, right? Trying to figure out, okay, how can we do this better, right? And so on and so forth. Of course, this is old news, but still, nevertheless, I did want to mention this about Dash, is that Apple approves Dash as a digital currency, so you can now use Dash on your Apple store. And of course, the Dash conference is coming up. I think we're going to see a big run-up on Dash in the lead-up to the conference, and then probably a decent dip after the conference. So a lot of money to be made with Dash in the coming months even. And probably this conference has even been a bit of the catalyst for moving the price of Dash up a little bit as it has gone. So definitely a lot happening with Dash, and that's going to really go. I'm going to do another video on Dash later in the week, really going over some more of the reasons why, Dash is so strong, and Dash is going to move forward, and Dash is going to be, one of the really big ones. It already is one of the really big ones, but it's going to be even bigger in the future moving forward, guys. Okay, anyway, that is all from the Crypto Lark today, guys. What do you think about my list? Do you agree with me? Do you think that these are the 5 coins that are really going to pop off in the next year? Have I got any of my facts wrong? What do you guys think? I really want to hear about it in the comments section down below, okay? So go ahead and hit me up down there. Peace out till next time, guys.